Hey everyone, and welcome to day 29 of my horror movie review marathon, and I've got Interview with a Vampire movie review. Anne Rice's best-selling novel comes back from the dead in a 1994 film with enough chills and thrills that will keep you up literally all night. As far as the story goes, a 200-year-old vampire meets a writer to narrate this whole entire movie. It does sort of feel like you're being told the actual book, and I'm sure it is just like the book since the real author wrote the screenplay to this movie. And just right off the bat, I have not read this book, so I don't know if there's any similarities or differences between these two. Vampire was turned by a more powerful vampire, and his world turns upside down, having to adjust to his new life. And as far as the casting goes, you've got Tom Cruise, who plays Lestat. Now, I know I've been hearing a lot of people saying that maybe he was miscast, but I think he did a pretty good job. I mean, he was terrifying. He definitely looked the part, he acted the part, and I honestly can't see anybody else portraying a more iconic vampire than Lestat. He did have his moments, and sometimes he was actually funny at times, but I was like, don't stray away from being scary. And you've got Brad Pitt, who plays Louis, and he's the vampire that gets turned after he had a misfortune in his own life, losing his family, and now he feels like, death is the only option. Clearly, he's not the only one that has to deal with all of that when him and Lestat end up, spending some time together, and they come across this one girl who they also decide to turn into a vampire. She is played by Kirsten Dunst, who plays Claudia, and this is probably one of her first roles. I think she actually does a pretty good job. Sometimes she can also, have this innocence about her, obviously, but she also wants more in her life, and she kind of wishes that she was more grown up. You've got Antonio Banderas, who plays Armand, and he's like this leader of this vampire clan that, they can be terrifying as well later on in the movie. He actually seems like, he can play both sides of the coin. He can sometimes be good, but then sometimes he can be bad. Somebody who I, know is no stranger to being in horror films. You've got Stephen Ray, who plays another really creepy vampire, probably one that, I wouldn't want to mess with, but somebody, I hate to love, but I also loved it. The things that I liked about this movie, obviously this movie has a dark, horrific tone, and the gory scenes definitely help to add to that creepiness. And I just thought, it was something like, this is why I love this movie so much, and it sets itself apart from other vampire movies out there. I think this is one of the best vampire movies out there, and it does have some comedic moments, so I think it adds that sort of lighter tone to it, but most of the time it's just being absolutely scary. The costume design and the production design were also very beautiful to look at, and those vampires, thank God they didn't friggin' sparkle this time, unlike some movies. And even the musical score was also very beautiful to listen to, and it definitely fit the tone. Unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about the movie, it felt like it was repetitive at times with all those non-stop death scenes, and I was just like, okay, we see these vampires walking, and all of a sudden we see people dying, and then we see them walking somewhere again. It was just craziness. It sort of added on to the fact that it dragged on in the movie a bit. Overall, I would say that Interview with a Vampire is probably the best vampire movie I've ever seen. This movie definitely leaves me hungry, blood hungry, for more. I would highly recommend seeing this movie, and I might just have to check out the book and then watch this movie again. And I would give this 4 hearts on the heart rate scale So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Interview with a Vampire, and come back tomorrow for day 30 of my horror movie review marathon. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.